All right, so screencast for your air dragster. So there's quite a few parts to this that we're going to put together, and this right here is going to be the base. This is what you're going to ultimately build, and these are the parts that go into doing that. The first thing I would do is I would drag my ruler over into the work plane, and that gives you, anytime you click on an object, it'll give you the dimensions right there. Now, whenever I'm dealing with something for laser cutting, I always make it only 1 millimeter high. So when I come in, I'll just change this to 1, and then it makes it flatter. It's going to take on the size of the material, but since we're kind of working in 2 dimensions, it's a good idea to make it flat like that and makes things a little bit easier. Now, this first piece that you're going to be dealing with is going to be 201 by 16. So you come in and you put 201 and you change that to 16. And that makes that quick and easy, and then you can drag it where you need it. Then you're going to need another piece right here that's going to be 30 by 20. So I come in and we need it to be 30 this way. Now I like to change the colors on different objects so I can tell where they are. And something that's handy that you might need to do sometimes is the align. So if you highlight these and you click this align button, you can align in the middle, and then you can also align on the edge, which is already done there. And then things like duplicate, that's really helpful. And then you can just press the arrow keys, or you can drag it over with your mouse and then realign it over there. The other thing that's helpful is if you hold down the shift key while you right click, you can drag up and down like this, or if you just right click, it moves you around like this. But sometimes you're going to want to go over to look at another piece, and the shift and right click is helpful when you do that. I'm not going to go through building this whole thing because that would take a little bit, but I am going to give you the dimensions for the different objects. Here we have a small one. It's 10 by 3.3, and that needs to be centered right on the end here, and then duplicate it and put it over on the other side. These circles I did, you don't necessarily have to do it this way, but I went in and did it this way. Those are 7.3 by 7, and then you use the circle to take out some of that material so it doesn't look so chunky, but you don't have to do that. Then we have these smaller openings, and they're going to be 3.3 by 5. And once you get all of those pieces where you need them grouped together, it'll come together and it'll look like this one right here. So you can work on that. Then you're going to need these spheres here, and all of these is a cylinder with it moved up to 64 sides, and then you're going to make it 15 by 35. Then you also have this small thing that the axle is going to go through, and it's a 2 by 2 hole of a cylinder. And then we have this one. Make sure that you center this piece into this one, and the way you do that, remember, you just highlight, align, middle, and middle, and that'll get that where it needs to be. And that the dimensions of that are 3.3 by 10. Then we have this small little object right here, which is going to hold your tube once it's completed. And in this case, it's 5.63 by 16. And then you have this smaller piece here, 3.17 by 5. And then this is going to be important for making this cutout section right here. Excuse me. You're going to need to make a cylinder that's 21.3 by 21.3. And if you then make this a hole, it will allow you to put that oriented up and down, obviously. So I need to take this and rotate it 90 degrees. And that right there will be what cuts out that section of your holder. And you'll need to center that and get that where it needs to be. Then once you have all those pieces, you are almost have everything you need for your dragster. There's one more aspect, which is the wheels. So let's take a look at these. I'll ungroup those. And so that's a 35 by 35. You need to make it 4 high in this case, because these actually will be 3D printed. And then we have a smaller cylinder in there that's 6 by 6. And finally, we have the hole for the axle in the very center, which is 2.3 by 2.3. And then it's not really all that important how tall these things are. They just need to be a minimum of, let's look and see, 16.5 up, because then I just took a hole and raised it 16.5 above the work surface. And then that way, when you group them together, when you group them together, it'll make it the right height for the entire thing. All right.